So look what showed up. This is the MAXFOOT MF 17 and 18. The 17 is a step-through electric bike. The 18 is a normal frame for men. Well, I guess the step-through could be for men too, but they're both e-bikes, 750 watt motors. Come with all the goodies. Let's see what we got. Okay, this is the opening of the MF 17, I believe. And this is how it's packed. Just giving you an idea of what I'm coming across as I do it. So far it looks like it's definitely the 17. That's the color that she wanted. It's in there pretty sturdy, so I'm guessing it's on some kind of blocks, which would be nice for future making up some kind of rack for the truck, possibly. Anyway, it looks well wrapped. Everything's protected. Let's see. Okay, so as I'm taking stuff out of the box here, I see it's very well put together on whatever's holding the bike in place. So I think it's going to be easier for me to cut the side of the box open and come out the side, so I don't have to lift the bike. That could be. I don't know if I could get this out. I'm pretty sure I couldn't. But if I open the side of the box, I think I can do it that way. Okay, so this is what I found when I cut the box open. Mind you, if you cut the box open, make sure you look down and make sure you're not going to be cutting anything that's in the box, just the box. So anyway, carefully placed razor knife, and you can do this quite easily. I was wrong, there was no blocks down there. The front is kind of blocked in. It's that big fat tire, and they got all these pieces are stuck to with adhesive, so they don't move during the shipping. It's packed pretty nice. It's packed pretty nice. I see a little bit of damage on the chain guard here. It could be rubbing from the box or something. But so far, so good. Okay, progress report. I've got everything laid out. There's a front fender, a battery. One of the little boxes contained the wrenches, the pedals, some end caps for the front tire, and maybe the back side of the pedals, I'm not sure yet. Some tie wraps, assorted tie wraps, the charger, and we all know what that is, but anybody that grew up in the 70s, you don't know how to put a bike together. Sorry. Anyway, here's the tires. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so for just a little bit of reference, so people can understand what you have to do, in the bag that had the little wrenches in it, you're going to have to pull this cap off. There's an Allen in there that fits it. It's the mid one. You're going to have to loosen this up, stick this in there, give it a few turns. I already loosened it a little bit. Okay, and then you can have to do it with my good arm. Spin this nut around, this bolt around here just a little bit, so you can get a hold of it, and it comes off. There's only two pieces, but be careful. See, it comes right off, because you want to take this little white cap off here, because the seat won't fit on there, or the handlebars won't fit on here with that white cap on there. And just like that, we have our handlebars on. So now that the handlebars are on, I've kind of adjusted it to what I believe is going to be good for her, but this tightens it down. There's two more that kind of clamp to hold. Then there's another smaller one right there. That allows you to make the handlebars up or down a little bit. I believe they're where she'll like them, but they can be adjusted is the point. I still have to mount the headlight up, which they provide. But right now I'm going to tackle the tire, the front tire. So I'll have to remove the packaging down here. It's just a boot that's the fork is sitting in to protect the paint. Remember, the caliper for the brake is going to be on the left-hand side as you're sitting on the bike. So just be aware, you'll have to line it up. There's a bolt down inside here just to keep distance on that for shipping. You'll have to pull that off. Loosen up your bolts here. They got little holders in here. Anybody that's worked on a bike before this is all very, very familiar. Anyway, let's get the front tire on. Okay, so as I'm putting the front tire on, I just wanted to point out, as you take things off, I pulled these 3 pieces off of this side of the axle, and they're over here too, the same 3 pieces. Okay, and that's the order I pulled them off in. Okay, so when I lay them out, and you should do the same, or it'll help you, because this is going to be a 2-step phase. You have to put the fender on when you put the front tire on. So just lay these out. Okay, that's the order they go back on. Okay, just pointing that out. Okay, here's what I was talking about a little bit more in detail. Okay, you see how that brake assembly fits on what would be the left-hand side as you're sitting on the bike. Okay, and then these sit inside here. Now, this washer that's got the lock key on it, right there, that's the one you use first. You use that on both sides. Okay, put that one in first on both sides. Okay, and it fits in that little space to keep it from turning. As this gets tight, it sits in that space and it keeps it from turning. Okay, so you don't lose your wheel while you're driving down the road. Okay, now let me get the fender in place so I can, because I only have 2 hands here, and I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, so as I'm doing this, let me get closer here, make this easier. Okay, so this is how this is going to go on. Okay, this is going to come through the bottom side like this. Go ahead and go a little far so you can hold on to it from the top. Okay, but that goes up the top here, and then as you'll see, there's a screw set. Here's the front, back side of that's right there, see it? And it fits on that tab. So let me get this together, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So now I just put that in finger tight. As you can, let's see if it'll focus. Yeah, I just put it in finger tight, because I think there's a reflector or something that goes on here too. But anyway, it helps hold this. So now this, I didn't put the washer and the bolt over yet. This goes on here first. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure you see that. This washer goes on the outside. Then your bolt already has a cap on it. We'll be taking off so we can tighten that up, because that cap is plastic. Okay. And then you do the same thing to the other side, and it kind of lines itself up. Okay, here's another pointer. This is just plastic, and I've tightened one side down, so it's kind of looking bent now, but it'll straighten it back out. I wouldn't use the little flimsy wrench they give you to put your tire on, make sure it's on there. Get yourself a 5/8 drive short socket, and make sure it's good and tight. You don't want your wheel coming off. Okay, I've got the front tire on, and the headlight. It's plastic. It's not really up to standards as far as I'm concerned. But that's not something that can't be replaced. There's a quick connect right here, plenty of cord on it. I mean, $10 at the local bike store or Walmart, you get yourself a much better one. Just got to make sure your ends fit. If they don't, you can always, there's enough wire to splice your own end on. Okay, so now I guess I got to get the pedals on, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got it together. I'm gonna say it took me right around an hour, but I was kind of fishing through some things, trying to see how stuff fits together, and I'm pretty sure I could get this done in under an hour. So it's an hour job. Let's call it an hour job, to be fair. Actually, it's pretty well put together. The only issue I had was in the shipping. You can see that chain guard looks a little bit twisted there. Once my wife rides it, I'll see what kind of adjusting I have to do to it. It's adjustable, so I can fix it. It's not the end of the world. And it's got a little bit of a smudge on it right there from shipping. Other than that, I don't know if I have to charge the battery before I put it in, so I will be looking through the manual for that. And truth be known, let me put it all on the table here. I did have to look at the manual once for a picture to see how this headlight was attached here. Could go a couple of different ways. This is the way I chose. Note the bolt is not long enough with the two little washers in there. You have to pull them washers out and use the nut is a locking nut. It has a neoprene inside it, so when you tighten it, it kind of, you don't need a lock washer or anything. It'll hold itself. But I did have to look at the book for that. Other than that, I'm gonna read and see if I have to plug this battery in and charge it before I actually put it in the bike. I'm not gonna ride it. This is my wife's, but it'll be ready for her when she gets here. Okay, one more note that I'd like to make. As I'm looking at the book, and I'm noticing when I unpacked this, the rear fender was already attached, and all the little accessories that go with it. There was an option to tip the shipper, tip the maker. I believe it didn't say to put it together, but I believe that might have been done for me because of the tip. Because there's quite a bit of work involved in putting that rear rack on. So if you're not too cheap, tip them. That's my tip.